Alex had always loved food. Even as a little boy, he would spend hours in the kitchen with his grandmother, watching her cook delicious meals for the family. His favorite pastime was trying to guess the secret ingredients in her famous mystery stew, a game that usually ended with him convinced she was sneaking unicorn tears into the pot. As he grew older, his love for food only got stronger. He dreamed of having his own restaurant one day, a place where he could share his passion with others and finally prove that ketchup does, in fact, go well with everything. After finishing school, Alex got a job at a big company. The work was okay, but it wasn't what he really wanted to do. Every day, as he sat at his desk, he would think about his dream of opening a restaurant. He would sketch menu ideas on notepads and research different cuisines during his lunch breaks, occasionally getting strange looks from coworkers who couldn't understand why he was Googling, "Can you deep fry a salad?" One day, Alex heard that Mr. Thompson, the owner of the company, was looking for new business ideas. Alex saw his chance. He stayed up all night preparing a presentation about his restaurant idea, fueled by an unhealthy amount of coffee and a playlist of Gordon Ramsay's greatest hits. Mr. Thompson was a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes. He listened carefully as Alex explained his idea for a new kind of restaurant, one that would serve food from all over the world but with a modern twist. "I want to create a place where people can try new flavors and have a great time," Alex said, his voice full of excitement. "I've been planning this for years and I really think it could work. Just imagine, sir, a place where sushi meets barbecue, where pasta dances with curry. It's like a United Nations summit, but with better food and fewer arguments." Mr. Thompson didn't say anything for a moment after Alex finished talking. Alex's heart was beating so fast he thought it might jump out of his chest and do a little tap dance on the desk. Then, to Alex's surprise, Mr. Thompson smiled. "You know, Alex," he said, "I like your enthusiasm. And this idea of yours, it's got potential. Plus, I've always wanted to try a spaghetti taco." Alex could hardly believe what he was hearing. Was Mr. Thompson really interested in his idea? "I'll tell you what," Mr. Thompson continued. "I'm going to give you a loan to start your restaurant. It's a big risk, but I believe in taking chances on young people with good ideas. Just promise me one thing. No singing waiters. I've had enough of those to last a lifetime." Alex was so happy he could hardly speak. "Thank you, Mr. Thompson," he managed to say. "I promise I won't let you down. And don't worry, the only singing in my restaurant will be the sweet sizzle of steaks on the grill." The next few months were the busiest of Alex's life. He quit his job at the company and threw himself into making his restaurant dream come true. There was so much to do: finding the right location, designing the space, creating the menu, hiring staff, and 1,000 other little things he had never even thought about before. Alex found a great spot for his restaurant in a busy part of town. It was an old building that needed a lot of work, but Alex could see its potential. He spent weeks working with contractors to fix it up, painting walls, installing new kitchen equipment, and creating a warm, welcoming dining room. Choosing the menu was both fun and challenging. Alex wanted to include dishes from all over the world, but he also wanted to make sure everything tasted great and worked well together. He spent days in the kitchen trying out different recipes and asking his friends to taste test. Finding the right staff was another big job. Alex wanted people who were not just good at their jobs, but who also shared his passion for food and making customers happy. He interviewed dozens of people before finding the perfect team of chefs, waiters, and kitchen staff. Finally, after months of hard work, the restaurant was ready to open. Alex stood in the middle of the dining room, looking around at what he had created. The walls were painted in warm colors, with beautiful pictures of food from around the world. The tables were set with shiny plates and glasses. In the kitchen, his team of chefs was busy preparing for the first day. Alex took a deep breath. This was it. His dream was about to become real. On opening night, Alex was more nervous than he had ever been in his life. What if nobody came? What if people didn't like the food? What if he had made a huge mistake? But as soon as the doors opened, people started coming in. At first, it was just a few curious neighbors. But soon, the word spread and more people came to try Alex's restaurant. People loved the food. They talked about how they had never tasted anything like it before. They told their friends, who told their friends, and soon Alex's restaurant was the talk of the town. A food critic from the local newspaper came to review the restaurant. Alex was terrified when he saw her come in, but he needn't have worried. The review was glowing, calling Alex's restaurant a breath of fresh air and a must-visit for food lovers. A few months after opening, Alex was in his office when his assistant, Sarah, knocked on the door. "Mr. Thompson is on the phone for you," she said. Alex picked up the phone, wondering what Mr. Thompson wanted. "Hello, Mr. Thompson," he said. "Alex, my boy." Mr. Thompson's voice boomed through the phone. "I've been hearing great things about your restaurant. It seems like you're doing very well." Alex couldn't help but smile. "Yes, sir. We've been working hard, and people seem to like what we're doing." "I'm impressed, Alex," Mr. Thompson said. "You've taken a chance I gave you and really run with it. Keep up the good work. Who knows? If things keep going this well, there might be some big surprises in store for you." After the call ended, Alex felt on top of the world. Mr. Thompson was happy with his work, the restaurant was doing great, and his dream had become a reality. He felt like nothing could go wrong. As the months went by, Alex's restaurant kept getting more and more popular. People had to wait for weeks to get a table. Alex started thinking about opening a second restaurant, then a third. Before he knew it, Alex was running 6 restaurants all over the city. He was making more money than he had ever dreamed of, but he was also busier than he had ever been. He worked from early in the morning until late at night, trying to keep all his restaurants running smoothly. At first, Alex loved the challenge. He enjoyed solving problems and making decisions. He liked being known as a successful businessman. But as time went on, he started to feel overwhelmed. There were always problems to solve. One day, a chef at one of his restaurants quit without warning. Another day, a shipment of food didn't arrive on time, leaving one of his kitchens scrambling to prepare meals. Alex had to deal with angry customers, equipment breakdowns, and staff conflicts. He tried to be everywhere at once, but it was impossible. He couldn't remember the last time he had actually cooked a meal or talked to a customer. He was so busy running his business that he had lost touch with the things that had made him want to open a restaurant in the first place. One night, Alex was sitting in his office, surrounded by stacks of papers. His head hurt, and his eyes were tired from looking at numbers all day. He put his head in his hands and sighed. "I can't keep doing this," he said to himself. "It's too much." Just then, his phone rang. It was Mr. Thompson. "Alex, I've been trying to reach you," Mr. Thompson said. He sounded worried. "Is everything okay?" Alex wanted to tell Mr. Thompson the truth, that he was overwhelmed and didn't know what to do. But he was afraid of disappointing his mentor. "Yes, everything's fine," Alex lied. "Just a bit busy, that's all." "I see," Mr. Thompson said. He didn't sound convinced. "Well, I just wanted to make sure you're still committed to this business. It's a big responsibility, you know." "Of course, Mr. Thompson," Alex said quickly. "I'm totally committed." After he hung up the phone, Alex felt even worse. He had lied to Mr. Thompson, and he still didn't know how to fix his problems. Over the next few months, things got worse and worse for Alex. He couldn't keep up with all the work at his restaurants. He was tired all the time and started making mistakes. The food quality in his restaurant started to go down. Customers began to complain about slow service and meals that didn't taste as good as they used to. Bad reviews started appearing online, and fewer people were coming to eat at Alex's restaurants. Alex tried to fix things, but he didn't know where to start. He worked even longer hours, but it didn't seem to help. He started yelling at his staff when things went wrong, which only made them unhappy and less likely to do a good job. Money became tight. Alex had to start cutting corners to save money. He bought cheaper ingredients, which made the food even worse. He had to fire many of his workers, which meant the service got slower and less friendly. One day, Alex was in his office when Mr. Thompson walked in. Alex could tell by the look on Mr. Thompson's face that he wasn't happy. "Alex," Mr. Thompson said, "I've been hearing some troubling things about your restaurants. What's going on?" Alex couldn't lie anymore. He told Mr. Thompson everything. How he had taken on too much too fast, how he was struggling to keep up, and how he had made many mistakes. Mr. Thompson listened quietly. When Alex finished talking, Mr. Thompson sighed. "I'm disappointed, Alex," he said. "I had high hopes for you." Alex felt awful. He had let down the man who had given him his big chance. "I'm so sorry, Mr. Thompson," he said. "I messed everything up." To Alex's surprise, Mr. Thompson's face softened a little. "You know, Alex," he said, "I've made mistakes too. We all have. That's how we learn and grow." Alex looked up, surprised. "You have?" Mr. Thompson nodded. "Of course. The important thing is to learn from our mistakes and do better next time." He paused for a moment, then continued, "I'm willing to give you another chance, Alex. But you need to prove to me that you've learned from this experience." Alex felt a glimmer of hope. "Thank you, Mr. Thompson. I promise I'll do better this time." With Mr. Thompson's help, Alex was able to save one of his restaurants. He sold the others and focused all his energy on making this one restaurant the best it could be. It wasn't easy. Many people remembered the bad experiences they had had at Alex's restaurants, and they were hesitant to give him another chance. Alex had to work hard to win back their trust. He went back to doing what he loved, cooking great food and making sure his customers were happy. He spent time in the kitchen again, creating new dishes and making sure everything tasted perfect. He talked to his customers, asking for their feedback and really listening to what they had to say. Alex also learned to be a better boss. He apologized to his staff for how he had treated them before and asked for their help in making the restaurant great again. He made sure to thank them for their hard work and to listen to their ideas. Slowly, but surely, things started to get better. People began to notice the changes. They talked about how the food was delicious again and how friendly the staff was. Little by little, more customers started coming back. One day, Mr. Thompson came to visit the restaurant. He looked around, nodding approvingly at what he saw. "You've done well, Alex," he said. "I'm proud of you." Alex smiled. "Thank you, Mr. Thompson. I couldn't have done it without your help." As Mr. Thompson turned to leave, he stopped and looked back at Alex. "Remember, Alex," he said, "everyone makes mistakes. It's how we learn and grow. But the most important thing is to never give up." Alex nodded, feeling grateful for Mr. Thompson's wisdom and support. Years passed, and Alex's restaurant became one of the best in the city. He won awards for his food and was known as a successful businessman. But he never forgot the lessons he had learned from his earlier mistakes. Alex made sure to always treat his staff well and to listen to his customers. He worked hard, but he also made time to enjoy life. He even started teaching cooking classes to help other young people who dreamed of opening their own restaurants. One night, Alex was working late in his office. He was looking out the window, thinking about how far he had come, when his phone rang. The number on the screen was one he didn't recognize. "Hello," he answered. "Alex," a strange voice said. Then the call cut off. Alex felt a chill run down his spine. Who was that? Why did they hang up so quickly? He looked around his office nervously, suddenly feeling like someone was watching him. For the next few days, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. He found himself looking over his shoulder more often and double-checking that the doors were locked at night. But nothing strange happened, and eventually Alex convinced himself that it was probably just a wrong number. A few weeks after the strange phone call, Alex got another unexpected call. This time, he recognized the voice on the other end. "Alex, it's Gary," the caller said. Alex was surprised. Gary was an old friend from when he first started in the restaurant business. They had worked together years ago, but had lost touch over time. "Gary, how are you?" Alex asked, trying to sound cheerful. "Not so good, actually," Gary said. He sounded worried. "My restaurant isn't doing well. I'm behind on rent and I can't pay my workers. I'm afraid I might lose everything." Alex felt a pang of sympathy for his old friend. He remembered how it felt to be in that situation. "I'm sorry to hear that, Gary," he said. "I was wondering if you could help me," Gary said hopefully. "Maybe lend me some money or give me some advice." Alex hesitated. He was busy with his own restaurant and he wasn't sure if he wanted to get involved in Gary's problems. "I don't know, Gary," he said. "I'm really busy right now." "Please, Alex," Gary pleaded. "I've always been there for you. Remember when we started out? We helped each other back then." Alex felt guilty. It was true that Gary had helped him in the past, but things were different now. Alex had worked hard to rebuild his business after his own failures. He was afraid that helping Gary might put his own success at risk. "I'll think about it," Alex said finally. Call me back next week, okay? After he hung up, Alex tried to push the conversation out of his mind. He had his own business to worry about. He couldn't solve everyone's problems, could he? Over the next few months, Gary kept calling Alex for help. Each time, Alex found a reason to say no. He was too busy, or he didn't have the money to spare, or he thought Gary should figure things out on his own. Alex told himself that he was just being smart. After all, he had learned the hard way how difficult the restaurant business could be. He didn't want to risk his own success by getting involved in Gary's problems. But deep down, Alex felt uncomfortable. He remembered how Mr. Thompson had helped him when he was starting out, and again when he was in trouble. Shouldn't he do the same for Gary? Finally, after many calls, Gary came to Alex's restaurant in person. He looked tired and desperate. Alex, I've tried everything, Gary said. I just can't make it work. Please, can you help me? Alex felt torn. He didn't want to see his old friend suffer, but he also didn't want to risk his own success. Gary, I'm sorry, he said firmly, but I'm not running a charity here. You need to figure this out on your own. Gary's face fell. He looked hurt and disappointed. I can't believe you're doing this, Alex, he said. We've known each other for so long. I thought we were friends. As Gary turned to leave, Mr. Thompson walked in with another man. They were talking about expanding the restaurant. Mr. Thompson saw Gary and called out to him. Gary, wait. Gary stopped and turned around, surprised to see Mr. Thompson. This is Gary, Mr. Thompson said to the man with him. He's a great manager. He's been a big help to me over the years. Gary looked confused, but pleased. Alex, watching this, felt a mix of emotions, surprise, jealousy, and a growing sense of unease. The next day, Alex was at his restaurant, feeling proud of how well things were going. The place was full of happy customers, and everything seemed perfect. Then his phone rang. It was Mr. Thompson. Alex, we need to talk, Mr. Thompson said. He sounded serious. Sure, Mr. Thompson. What's up? Alex asked, trying to sound casual. I've been thinking about how you treated Gary, Mr. Thompson said. I'm very disappointed in you, Alex. Alex's stomach dropped. What do you mean? You had a chance to help a friend in need, and you chose not to, Mr. Thompson explained. That's not the kind of person I thought you were. Alex tried to defend himself. But Mr. Thompson, I worked hard to build my business. I can't just give away money to everyone who asks. Alex, Mr. Thompson said, his voice stern, do you remember when you were starting out? When you were in trouble? Who helped you then? Alex fell silent. He knew Mr. Thompson was right. I've made a decision, Alex, Mr. Thompson continued. I'm taking your restaurant back. Alex couldn't believe what he was hearing. What? You can't do that. I can and I am, Mr. Thompson said firmly. I'm giving the management of all 6 restaurants to Gary. He's proven himself to be dependable and kind-hearted. Alex felt like the world was spinning around him. This couldn't be happening. But Mr. Thompson, he protested, I've worked so hard for this. Yes, you have, Mr. Thompson agreed. But success isn't just about making money, Alex. It's about how you treat people. You forgot that, and now you're paying the price. After Mr. Thompson hung up, Alex sat at his desk, feeling shocked and angry. How could this happen? How could he lose everything he had worked for? The next few days were a blur for Alex. He watched helplessly as Gary took over the management of all 6 restaurants. Mr. Thompson had been serious about his decision. On the day Gary officially took over, Alex stood outside his former restaurant, watching through the window. He saw Gary talking to the staff, smiling and gesturing enthusiastically. The employees seemed to respond well to him, nodding and smiling back. Alex felt a mix of emotions, anger at Mr. Thompson, jealousy of Gary, and a growing sense of regret. He realized too late that he had made a big mistake by not helping his friend. As he watched Gary confidently managing the restaurant that used to be his, Alex thought about all the choices he had made. He had worked hard and become successful, but along the way, he had forgotten about the importance of friendship and kindness. A customer walked by, heading into the restaurant. They didn't even glance at Alex. It hit him then. He was no longer part of this world he had built. He was an outsider now. Alex turned and walked away, his steps heavy. He had no idea what he would do next. For so long, his whole identity had been wrapped up in being a successful restaurant owner. Now, who was he? The weeks that followed were the hardest of Alex's life. He struggled to come to terms with losing his restaurants. He spent many days just sitting at home, replaying everything in his mind, trying to figure out where he had gone wrong. One day, Alex decided to visit one of his old restaurants as a customer. He sat at a table in the corner, watching everything. The food was good, the service was friendly, and the customers seemed happy. It was everything he had once dreamed of creating. As he was about to leave, he overheard two customers talking. "This place has really improved," one said. "Remember how bad it used to be?" "Oh, yeah," the other replied. "But ever since that new manager took over, it's been great." "What was his name again?" "Gary, I think." Alex left quickly, feeling worse than ever. It seemed that Gary was doing a better job than he ever had. That night, Alex hit rock bottom. He realized that he had not only lost his businesses, but he had also lost his way. He had become so focused on success that he had forgotten what was truly important. The next morning, Alex woke up with a new resolve. He couldn't change what had happened, but he could decide what to do next. He thought about Mr. Thompson's words. Success isn't just about making money. It's about how you treat people. Alex realized that he needed to redefine what success meant to him. Alex decided to start over, but this time he would do things differently. He still loved cooking and wanted to share that love with others. But instead of opening another restaurant, he had a different idea. He started a small cooking school, teaching people how to make delicious meals at home. He remembered how much he had enjoyed cooking with his grandmother as a child, and he wanted to help others discover the joy of cooking. At first, only a few people signed up for his classes, but Alex put his heart into teaching them. He was patient and kind, always encouraging his students even when they made mistakes. Slowly, word began to spread about Alex's cooking school. More people started signing up for classes. Alex's students loved how he made cooking fun and accessible. One day, as Alex was cleaning up after a class, he heard a familiar voice. "Hello, Alex." He turned around to see Mr. Thompson standing there. "Mr. Thompson," Alex said, surprised. "What are you doing here?" "I've been hearing good things about your cooking school," Mr. Thompson said. "I wanted to see for myself." Alex showed Mr. Thompson around the small school, explaining what he had been doing. "You know, Alex," Mr. Thompson said when the tour was over, "I think you finally figured it out." "Figured what out?" Alex asked. "What really matters," Mr. Thompson replied. "You're not just teaching people how to cook. You're bringing people together, creating community. That's real success." Alex felt a warmth in his chest. For the first time in a long time, he felt truly proud of what he was doing. As the months passed, Alex's cooking school continued to grow. He hired a few assistant teachers to help with the increased number of classes, but he made sure to stay involved, teaching classes himself and getting to know his students. His How to Boil Water Without Burning It class was particularly popular among college students and newly divorced dads. One day, Alex received a surprise visitor. It was Gary. "Gary," Alex exclaimed, "what are you doing here? Don't tell me you finally realized that microwaving isn't a legitimate cooking technique." Gary smiled sheepishly. "I heard about your cooking school. I thought maybe I could sign up for a class. Turns out, my customers aren't as fond of surprise charcoal as I thought they'd be." Alex was touched. Despite everything that had happened, Gary was reaching out to him. "Of course," Alex said. "You're welcome anytime. We'll start you off easy, maybe toast. It's not just for breakfast anymore." As they talked, Alex realized something. He no longer felt jealous or resentful towards Gary. Instead, he felt grateful. If it hadn't been for what happened with Gary, Alex might never have learned this important lesson about what really matters in life, like the fact that friendship is thicker than béarnaise sauce. That night, as Alex locked up the school, he thought about how far he had come. He had lost his restaurants, but he had gained something much more valuable, a new perspective on life and a chance to make a real difference in people's lives. Plus, he'd finally perfected his recipe for humble pie, which was quickly becoming a bestseller. As he walked home, Alex felt content. He knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges and opportunities. But this time, he was ready to face them with kindness, humility, and a true understanding of what success really means. And if all else failed, well, he could always fall back on his foolproof plan to open the world's first underwater sushi bar. After all, where there's a whisk, there's a way. Do to others just as you would want them to do to you. Luke 6, verse 31.